Hey, what's going on? This is Sunshine.
And E.
All right.
What's up, everybody? We're back again. We're going to do another part. Had technical difficulties on the last one.
Yeah.
So, we're glad you still came back.
Right. Hopefully things run real smooth this time. This is part two, or you could say story two. There's 3 stories we're going to talk about reincarnation, but we're going to kind of divide it up in 3 different parts, 3 different stories about 3 different people that claim or say that or believe that they were reincarnating. So this is the second story, and we're just going to get into it. And before we do me a favor, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, also share, comment below. So come on, let's go.
Wanted his father because he was passionate about it, and they never really bonded because of it. Even when Hannah's father first met her mother, he said they would get on okay if she never spoke of hockey. So Hannah grew up in a family that never spoke about hockey and never watched it on TV. As Hannah was growing up, she never had a babysitter until the age of 9, when her grandmother would be a babysitter. So Hannah had no contact with anybody that could have discussed hockey with her. Like her parents, Hannah had no interest in hockey. One day when Hannah was 3 years old, she asked her father why her son didn't come around to take her to hockey games anymore. He asked her when her son had done this, and she replied, "You know, Daddy, when I was an old lady." For a couple of months, she asked about her son and seemed frustrated that he wasn't coming around. Hannah then gave details about her son, where she said he was skinny with red curly hair. She talked about how her son wore a leather coat. She also said that he drove a white car with rust on it. She would also talk about the arena, which surprised the father because as Hannah had never been to an arena and no one had ever discussed that word around her. Suddenly, Hannah stopped talking about her son and hockey games, and when her father later brought the subject up, she seemed to have no memory of them. So, what would possess a 3-year-old child, especially a family who didn't even like hockey, to imagine that she'd been an elderly woman wanting her son to take her to hockey games? Now, before we get to number 1, we'd like to do a quick message from our sponsor. Finding the right VPN service can be a struggle. However, for as little as $1.99 a month, Surfshark is here to secure your online data with some extra bonus features. Unlike other VPN services, Surfshark allows...
We can get past that little pitch, but that one was a little shorter than the other one, which was good. Let's give us a little bit more time to get involved or get into the story. And the first 2 stories, they were talking about 2 young girls. Now, being a girl might not have anything to do with it, but being young, I think, does have some relevance or made some credence to the fact that maybe they could be reincarnated because we're still fresh in their mind. So if you died and came reincarnated, it seems like you remember that last part more than as you grow older, you'll start forgetting. Because you'll forget things even in this life. As you get older, you don't remember things when you were. So that kind of makes some sense. But the thing in both of these stories, I don't know if... These stories, I think, just kind of give the overall view of this particular story. I don't think they really went in depth because... The first story was talking about some place in England. I think they said somewhere in England. This particular one, they mentioned certain things. And you can kind of do your research. So I've always felt from time to time, like when I see different things, like I know I've never been here. I know I've never seen it, never been involved with it, but it seems somewhat familiar to me. And it seems like there's a place that I could probably go and it would trigger some things if I see it. So I've always wanted to, eventually I'm going to do this. I got an area in the United States where I think if that happens, and what would be the interesting thing, because the first story, the little girl actually knew her name in the previous life, and she could look at her age and kind of gauge when that person would have died versus when they were born. And if they can go to the area, maybe there'd be a gravestone that has that person's name. And so it would just be, I don't know. There might be people out there really. For me, I'm not sure, but there's some things that have happened in my life where there's things that came out. I was like, I have no clue or never been around this, but somehow it seems somewhat familiar. And I don't know if it's deja vu or I've been there and I just don't remember, or I take a lot of different thoughts and combine them, and that makes it familiar to me. So I'm not sure, but y'all tell us. I don't know. You got anything from this story?
She just called herself up to this lady. She said her son. So that's just interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that she said, why doesn't her son and come around anymore and take her to the hockey games? But clearly she's a little girl.
Yeah,
so
she should know that. That's weird.
I don't.
That part was weird because she should know that I'm a little girl and go, hey, what's, But there was some kind of what you call context clues in far as hockey and rust on the car, and that will tell you if it's in the United States, it's probably a northern state. If it might even be Canada, because Canada's really big in hockey. A lot of northern states are big in hockey, and then you get the rust from the salt from the during the winter time, so that can be. So they could got a starting point if they think that there's some. So I think there's probably more to these stories that they went in depth and tried to did some research. So that part I would really be interested in is where they went after this. But that's story 2.
I mean, it's funny too that the father didn't even remember the conversation. Now that's what it sounded like. They said it towards the end.
I think he asked her and she said she didn't remember.
Oh, she didn't remember. I thought it was he didn't remember. But
yeah, so it's kind of weird. But I'm really curious if the next story is going to be of another young person, because I think an older person can really articulate more and to give you more clues and connections and can research stuff themselves or do things themselves.
I mean, it's probably because they're young. I don't know if girl has being a girl. This one and the previous one has anything to do with it, like you were saying before, but probably because they're young, it's still kind of fresh. Yeah. Because as she got older, she forgot it. So maybe that one.
That might be it. All right. Well, y'all let us know what y'all think. These are some things we're trying to get some out of the normal things that we do and get to some of these other things. And I'm just interested in stuff like this, time travel. That stuff just interests me, as whether I believe or believe it or not. I'm really interested in things like that. So y'all let us know. Put it in the comment below. Let us know what you think. We're gonna get out of here. Before we do me a favor. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also share and comment below. And I do believe that's it.
That is it. Thanks for listening to Sunshine and E.